Office Christmas parties are coming up, folks. Office Christmas parties. Maybe some of you are throwing them. Office Christmas parties are a lot of fun. Not as much for sober people. They're just not. Many of you are sober. I'm sober. Things are less fun for us now. Own that. Understand that. Stop living in a fantasy world that things are as fun as they used to be. But things are not as fun as they used to be, but they're also not as bad as they used to be. There is the trade-off. And when you're an adult, you understand that that's what it is. Life is a trade-off. It is not as fun to go to a Christmas party sober. In fact, it's almost pointless. Not completely pointless, but it's almost pointless because alcohol is that social lubricant that allows you to really, first of all, what alcohol allows you to do at Christmas parties is you start looking around at the people that you see every day and you start appreciating them and you start imagining that what's going on constitutes a life, which it doesn't at all. But alcohol allows you to believe that Sue from accounting and you have a bond because that one time she got your name wrong, but then she rushed a change so that you could get paid by Friday. And remember that, Sue? Remember that? And remember when you came in the kitchen and I was like eyeballing Talia's lunch and you made that joke, oh, don't steal her lunch. And I didn't. And, but you always kind of looked at me skeptically, Sue, because of that. And you thought maybe he was stealing lunches and I wasn't. What I was doing, this is all hypothetical. What I was doing is I was looking at what other people ate. That's what I was doing. I wasn't stealing anything. But why don't you go back to your office and fucking get the names on the checks right? Because I've worked here for 7 months, Sue. So what alcohol allows you to do is when you get really hammered, you don't want Sue to die in a car accident anymore, which is what you want every day. You want to say hello to Sue. You want to say, how are you? How's your daughter? You have a daughter. Oh, she's going to Northwestern. Isn't that good, Sue? Great. Yeah. And then you make some dumb joke. And that's what it allows you to do. You look around at the people in your orbit and you go, oh, these are people and this is a life. I'm living a life. This is a life. This'll do. This'll do. It's Christmas. I work at a shitty company. We all hate each other. We're all terrified of losing our job. We're working for this fucking drunk loser. This whole thing's probably a Ponzi scheme. We're probably going to be thrown out into the street any minute. But right now, there are lights on the bar. There's booze in my cup. There's a Southwestern egg roll. If you're lucky enough to be at Chili's. If you're lucky enough to be at Chili's. There's a Southwestern egg roll or there's a little shrimp with a tangy fucking, cocktail sauce or... what do they love in Long Island? That bang bang shrimp, that fried shrimp with that chipotle, aioli bullshit fire cracker sauce where you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you can nibble on that and booze it up while Bald Mike from accounting comes over and tells a couple of street jokes that he heard. And if you have to do that sober, you want to shoot up the whole thing. It's hard to do. It doesn't make any sense because you realize very quickly if you're sober that this is a horror of all the places in my life I could have ended up to end up in this shitty bar in a strip mall with these losers in this corner of the world is such a human tragedy. Sure, it's not as bad as stepping on a landmine or having cancer or getting fucked every day by senators or having a fucking, an adoption go wrong and then you're getting burned with cigarettes. I get it. People have worse problems. But if you're a sentient human being and you're self-aware and you look around and you have to fucking have another conversation with Denise, who talks only about the one time she went to Aruba and that she's saving up for another cruise so she can take her plump, fat Italian ass and put it on the top deck of a Carnival ship so she can tan. And when I tan, I'm basically black. I'm basically completely black when I tan. I tan, I'm black. I'm black when I tan. And you have to sit there and you have to listen to these people, these mouth breathers that don't have any idea that they too are locked in this hell, that they are in this fucking simulation, but they are not cursed with self-awareness like you are. They are like animals. They don't have the power of reason. They don't think. They just fart and fuck and move and the pedal to the metal, and then they stop the car and start the car, open the door, close the door, take a shit. I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. Cocaine, nostril, boom. That's what they do. But you, for whatever reason, have been cursed, like much of humanity, with a little self-awareness. So when you're at that bar and maybe you're a little early and you're waiting in your car because you don't want to be the first one there, but you're not going to go home first, because if you go home first, you know you're not going to fucking go. You know you're not going if you go home first. So you get to the place a little fucking early because God forbid you work a little harder at work. So you get there a little early and you're just in the bar and you get there and you're alone and the only person who's there is fucking Ralph, and Ralph's creepy as fuck and he's probably a pedophile. You don't know, but he's fucking weird because he talks about high school girls a lot and that makes you very uncomfortable. And Ralph is there and you're like, fuck, I don't want people walking in and seeing me and Ralph there. But who walks in? The boss. And he walks in because you're standing there with fucking Ralph. And you're like, fuck. And the boss is there just to make sure everything goes well tonight, you know, because he knows he's running a scam, but at least he's got to keep everyone invested in it. Once a year, he throws a stupid, shitty Christmas party. We get a tray of wings, a chafing dish of, balsamic chicken, some penne alla vodka. And you walk around, you commiserate with these fucking dolts that you work with and you have to see every day. And at that point, some booze and a few hits off a fucking blunt or vape can really go a long way. A nice cold cigarette when you're all lubed up with some Kettle One can really help a holiday party just sail by. It almost might be fun. It starts to get fun because you start to realize it's not that bad. Things aren't that bad. Things aren't that bad. Look where other people are. That kid you grew up with, he's dead. Remember him? No one. He just disappeared one day and they found him in a lake. What happened to him in those final hours? You'll never know, but you're in Long Island. It's okay. There's movie theaters and Italian restaurants and girls that might suck your dick if you buy them eggplant parmesan. Things aren't that bad. And sure, you didn't really do anything with your life and you're just floating around. You're 25 years old. You're sexually weird and confused. You can barely perform with women. You don't have that many friends left. Many of them have passed you by and they threaten you, so you get them out, you know, and it's fine though, because at the end of the day, these people at this shitty job see promise in you. I mean, do they really? Let's be honest. They hired you before you even said anything. They just needed a warm body in their office to convince themselves what they were doing was fucking reasonable. But hey, it doesn't matter. It's not that bad because you can call that fat girl again that you boned last month. Maybe she'll be involved and then you can just fuck, not even because you enjoy it, just because you can say to yourself, well, I'm fucking, I'm part of it. Things are going to happen. You can imagine that shitty little Levitt home you'll buy in a few years when you just save your money and your parents are proud of you because you finally have a basement apartment in Hicksville with Formica counters. Okay, so things aren't that bad. You're not in jail. You're not in prison. You're not dead. You know, it's what you do. You measure yourself against the absolute lowest of the low. You say to yourself, hey, I'm not shooting up schools. Look at me. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just here. And maybe it's a dead-end job. And maybe I have nothing left and I have nothing in common with these people. And every passion that I have, I've extinguished because they've all frightened me. But it doesn't matter because I had a few Kettle Ones and I smoked a joint and Ralph's kind of funny now. And Denise, she's a big goofball. She's saving for a cruise. You know, when she tans, she looks black. She's got a big fat ass. And you might fuck that ass. Who knows? It's weird. But then there's another guy in the office, Clark. He's kind of gender non-specific. Would you let Clark blow you in a bathroom? You don't know. That's for the third or the fourth drink to tell. And you actually start liking your boss, even though he's clearly a criminal and he'll probably be in jail in a few years. What he says makes sense about hustling and grinding and just making it happen. He didn't need a college degree, you know? He didn't need, any discernible talent or skill. He just kept pushing through, kept calling old people and telling them they should remortgage their house. Okay? And you just followed that because you wanted to prove that you're a real man with a Lexus. And in those situations, it is so essential to have a cocktail, a stuffed mushroom,